Hey guys, it's Chris with Eddie's Speed Garage, and today we're going to be doing a review on the ZR Pro from Harbor Freight by Zurich. Um, Comes in this nice blow molded case. It's got nice clips on the front to keep it closed. Seem pretty sturdy. I haven't had any issues with them. I've been using this scan tool for about a month or two now. I'm actually a professional mechanic at a Chevy dealer. Been using it on all makes and models though, used cars that we get in and stuff like that. So to open it up here, we got the Zurich logo on the foam there. There's a lot of foam backing in the case to keep the tool itself safe. Comes with your instruction manual, all the other scan tools that they have on the market. This is about the most affordable scan tool you can get with bidirectional controls. So that's controlling things like your evap vent solenoids, actuators, resetting oil life, performing throttle relearns, idle resets, reading scan data, stuff like that. So here's the case itself with the everything that it comes with. It comes with a little extension for hooking your VCI to the vehicle. This you can hook up just alone. Maybe you might need this if you have a tight spot. Comes with charging cable and the little charging brick. It's just a regular micro USB port. This is a Android based scan tool. I think most of them are, but from what I can tell, it does a lot. I have used a couple Snap-on scan tools in the past, and they all work pretty well. This one seems on par with those. So to get to the scan tool portion of it, you'll hit this little Z here for the Zurich, and that'll pop up with the automotive diagnostic portion of everything. So you got all these apps inside. You go here for diagnosing. You got all these makes and models. It services pretty much everything that you'll find in the US or in some of the European markets. Yeah, there's your European, Asian. It's just some history of the vehicles that I've been working on. A lot of GM because I'm a Chevy guy. I work at a Chevy dealership. I've hooked them up to Hondas, Chrysler products, stuff like that. Everything seems to work great. So for the features of the scan tool, you have your internet access, you got cameras on the front and the rear. Camera quality's pretty decent. No, it's not showing up good on the camera, but it's not bad for taking pictures of parts or components that you want to show to customers or anything that you're working on that you want to save. Battery life on it it's decent. It maybe 3 or 4 hours of continuous use it would do. I'd never let it get down this far, actually, 50%. I usually keep it on a charger and it's ready to use when I need it. There's not a whole lot else to it. It's just pretty much a typical Android tablet with the scan tool software installed on it. You can see that you got all these different updates. When you buy the scan tool, you'll get the free, I think it's like a year subscription, and you'll continue to get all of these updates for the new vehicles that come out. And typically with any of these scan tools, you only want to download the vehicle brands that you're actually going to be working on. So I don't typically work on Aston Martin, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, any of that stuff. I do have some of the Honda stuff downloaded, Chrysler, all three of the main American brands, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler. So I got those downloaded. Everything else you just want to leave off until you need it. It doesn't take much time to download them. Just keeps the scan tool running fast, not having all that extra stuff to surf through. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the features of this thing. So here we are in a 2017 Chevy Colorado. To start setting it up to scan the vehicle, we're gonna take the VCI and we'll plug it in down on the OBD port. Let's see if we can find it here. There it is. So you'll see it'll light up, then you want to turn your key on. I got key on in the dash. And then we will go into our Diagnose app. We'll select the brand that we're working with, so Chevy. Takes a little bit to load. Alright, so now you can either select your vehicle manually by typing the VIN in, or automatically, which it'll search the VIN for you and retrieve the information. That's the quickest way to go into it. So there you go, it'll pop up with your VIN, everything that you need to see. You just verify it's all correct and hit yes. So now you got these three options. You can either do system selection, health report, or system scan. I believe system scan will show you all the modules that are in the vehicle. Health report will take all the modules and see what codes are in them, if there's any. It'll give you a whole rundown of what the vehicle health is. System selection, if you click that, you'll get all these options for modules, and you can pick specific modules to look into for data or to retrieve codes out of those modules. So we'll go back, I'll show you the health report and how that goes. So click health report, it'll start scanning the vehicle. Shows up with the little percentage sign down there showing you the process, how much longer it should take. So this just goes through and scans all the modules on the vehicle for any DTCs or abnormalities. Now, say if you had a check engine light on, you could just go to system selection and you could pick the engine control module, and you wouldn't have to fight with waiting for the scan tool to scan every single module. You can just get to what you want to get to quickly. So you can see no codes. Actually, looks like we do have a code. So human machine interface module, that's going to be dealing with some of the radio stuff on this vehicle. Let's see what it says. So we can go into that module. We can click read fault code, the DTC display, and there's our code. So we got a B127E front video display output signal history. This is my daily driver. I haven't noticed anything in it. Sometimes these cars throw codes for little hiccups that you might not even notice, but I guess there could have been a problem at one point. It's a history code now. I haven't noticed any issues with the car. So you just hit the back button, get out of there. There's all your modules that are on the vehicle. You can click fault report, and that'll bring up all your modules that had an issue in the fault section there, and then you can click normal, and that'll give you all the modules that are operating as designed. Click that again, it'll show you the code there. Just back out of this. We'll show you some data streaming capabilities this thing has. So I'm going to start the engine on this car. And we're going to go into system selection. we can look at engine control module. We'll go automatic because this is an automatic transmission vehicle. So now, once you're in the module, you'll get your read fault code, read data stream. You got your special functions, inspection/maintenance information. There's actuation tests for some of those bidirectional codes or controls. We'll go data stream for now. So here we go. We got all the data that you can look at for this car. So you got your standard engine data, automatic data, or automatic transmission data. So a big one to be able to look at is, let's say, your evaporative emissions data. Say you needed to pass emissions and you're trying to figure out why that system's not working properly. So it'll pop up with all the PIDs, I believe they're called, for your evap system and what it follows to diagnose codes and stuff like that. So you can check your fuel level sensor, fuel tank pressure sensor. See, I guess there's 2 fuel tank pressure sensors. Usually one of them is a voltage, and then one of them's an actual pressure reading. So the sensor will read a voltage, and then it'll get turned into a actual reading that we can comprehend. So we'll go in and we'll click OK. So see, that'll bring up, looks like there are actually two voltage signals. You can graph these by hitting the graph button. It'll show you that. So fuel level is going to stay the same while you're sitting here. It won't change much. But you can go out, you can get engine speed, engine load. We'll just select these two and we'll go back into it. This will show you some actual data that should move around that we can play with. So that's our engine speed currently. So engine speed, give it a little rev. So now we're at about 1300 RPMs. So this is all live data from the engine control module. Now you can also combine these with the bottom. So you check both of those, click combine or click OK there. Now you got your engine load and your engine speed. So that shows the load of the engine and your RPMs compared to that. So backing out of there, this thing does quite a bit. I haven't seen much that the GM scan tool for the factory does better or more of than this scan tool. There's not a whole lot that this doesn't do. So you can go to your special functions. This is a big one on GM for these throttle bodies. When they get dirty, you have to clean them and then reset them. So you can hit learn and you'll have idle learn right there. You got brake pedal position sensor learn, crank position variation learn, and heated oxygen sensor learn. So any of that time you're replacing stuff like that, you can go in and relearn them there. And for reset functions, you got your engine oil life, fuel trim reset, and remote vehicle start disable history reset. Then there's actuation tests that you can do. I don't know how much I want to play with that right now while we're sitting here, but you can actuate evap sensors. So you got all these different categories for actuation tests that you can run. So we could set the engine speed actually here by going into the engine tab there. So let's say we want to set the engine speed at 2,000 RPM. So it's going to pop up with this message here saying shift transmission to park, so you don't go running into something. So hit OK. This is very helpful if you're doing something like a fuel injection service, spraying something into the intake and you want to clean the throttle body out. You can set the engine RPM and exit the vehicle and spray whatever you need to do in the intake and clean it out that way, instead of having to have somebody sit and spray while you sit on the gas pedal inside the car. So you can go here and click increase. You'll see down here our engine speed's starting to change. Commanded state is 600, so we're sitting at about 600 RPM. We can keep increasing it. Just keep tapping her. So now you can see we're sitting at about 800. Still climbing. I think it lags a little bit with the inputs, but we can keep continuing to increase that to whatever desired idle that we want. And then just to bring it back to normal, you can click release, and that'll let the engine take back control of itself and maintain the proper idle. So there's throttle position. I think that's more if you wanted to see how the throttle plate's sitting. Maybe not. Yeah, I haven't used everything for the actuators, but in my day-to-day use, it seems to do what I need it to do. I did use the starter relay, just doing some voltage drop testing. You can take the scan tool, hit the starter relay, and test a live circuit while the engine's starting without actually being in the vehicle. Some of the evap system actuations are pretty nice. You got your purge/seal, purge solenoid valve, and vent valve. So the purge seal is combination of both of them, and you can go in there and you can seal up or vent the evap system. So if you're checking for evap integrity and stuff like that, you got your venting controls. That's your purge duty cycle there. So you hit it to say 30%. You can actually stall the vehicle out doing this because it sucks in air. It pretty much creates a vacuum leak from the fuel tank. So now we got our commanded state is 30% for the purge solenoid valve. We're also venting, so we can close that. So now we're not venting at all. Fuel tank pressure is about 0.31. We can hit the 20% there. And now we're going to start pulling a vacuum because we just turned the purge solenoid on. So you can see how that all works there. Then we can go here and release our control, let the computer do what it needs to do, back out of that. So yeah, I'm willing to make more videos showing you guys how to use this thing. I'm pretty savvy with it. I'm learning new things about it every day. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and if you want to see more, tell us you want to see more.